Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today I'm sharing a pretty mini album that I created using the Mintay Papers Florabella collection. This is one of my favorite collections. I keep coming back to using this for different projects, and today I am using one of the new Mintay Chippies albums. It's a love heart shaped album, and I combine the album and the Florabella papers together to create this. And the pictures are of my niece Molly and her horse that they took in her backyard. I have created this as a kit on my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au. You can hop on over to my shop, you can purchase the kit and create this project in the comfort of your own home. So let's get started and I'll show you exactly how I created this project. So in the kit you will receive this love heart shaped album, and you will also receive a 12 by 12 packet of Florabella papers. You need to trace the love heart shaped page onto some of the papers. In this instance I'm using the horse at the top left hand corner and the house at the bottom right hand corner on this page. We actually need to cut out 12 love hearts from our papers, and you will only probably get 2 love hearts per page. So you're going to need to choose 6 papers that you like the most and that you want to create your hearts with. This doesn't have to be a horse album. These papers do have horses in them, but they are also suitable for other projects as well, and you actually don't have to include the horse. You can use bits of the paper that doesn't have a horse. So it does have a variety of purposes. It could easily be a wedding album, or you could scrap any photos with these papers. The papers are beautiful. They've got this lovely soft mushroom pink. They've also got a lovely silvery grey in the papers, and they've got a distressed feel to them. So they really are one of my favourite collections from the Mintay paper range. So here I am just cutting out all of the love hearts. And once you've got 12, then you can start to glue them down onto your album pages. And it's up to you as to which pages that you would like to use. I picked a variety of different designs. I'm just using a liquid glue to glue those papers onto the chipboard base. And then I need some more papers to cover the other side. So I'm going to fast forward this section of the video now. You can press pause while you cut yours out and prepare all of your pages for your album. If you find for any reason that you have a slight overhang of papers, just get your scissors and just trim that little edge off to just create a nice edge on each of your love hearts. That's the main part of the album finished now that we've got all of our album pages covered with the beautiful Florabella paper. And now we're ready to move on to the next stage of creating our album. In your kit, you've got this silver ink by Craft. This is going to be the ink that we will use to rub on the edges of our love heart pages. Using ink saves us lots of time. If we were to use paint, we would have to wait for our paint to dry, but using an ink pad means you can pop it on and within a few minutes it's touch dry and ready to use. This silver colour goes beautifully with the papers, and so we're going to cover the whole of this filigree heart with the silver ink. And then we're going to ink the edges of every single one of our love heart pages. Because we are using the ink pad on wood, it does roughen the ink pad up quite a bit. So don't be distressed if you find that your ink pad is starting to look quite shabby. This project will probably take most of the ink out of your ink pad. You can also do a little bit on the paper around the edges. So once you've inked every edge, it's time to glue the filigree heart onto one of the pages. So just with a little bit of glue and then popping that over your chosen page. And that will become the front cover of our album. And then we have all of our pages following that. Now it is time to work with our photos. I printed all of my photos out as 3x4 centimeter photographs. And I'm using the white frames from the page number 6 in your Florabella Papers kit to frame my photographs. I like to use these frames because it really gives a great edge to the photo and allows you to embellish easily around the edge of the photograph. So I cut my frames from the number 6 paper, and then I choose frames that would suit each photograph, and I like to glue them on. It's just a matter of finding the right frame for every photo. So just gluing those frames onto the photos, cutting the middle out of the frame if needed. There is some excess photo that I will trim off. So once the glue has dried and the frame is sitting securely on the photo, it's safe to trim off the excess bits of the photo. It's looking good. This is a great way to document a special event or a special person in your life. We're going to punch a hole in the side of the album, and that's where we'll thread our ribbon. So when you do that, you just want to make sure that you're getting the same hole every time. You can do this by lining up the pages and doing all of the holes at once. I'm using a sharp tool which has got this silver pointy stick on it that allows me to put a hole through the chipboard and through the paper. And because I'm keeping my album pages all together, that will ensure that every hole is in the same spot. So when I thread my ribbon through the hole, it will have a nice hole to go through and the album will sit together well. Once we have all of our holes punched through our album, we can start threading our ribbon through that hole. The ribbon I'm using is supplied in the kit and it's a lovely soft silver ribbon that matches in perfectly with the colours of our album. In order to thread it through, you just need to roll the ribbon together to make a sort of a sharp edge. You might need to trim it so that you don't have any little soft bits that aren't going to go through. And I found probably the easiest way to get it through is to use that same sharp tool to push it through the hole. If it wasn't sort of going to go through, I could poke it through with my little sharp tool here. So this just takes a little bit of patience. It's not difficult. It's just getting that little ribbon through the hole, use that sharp tool if needed, and pulling it out the other side so that it can go through each one of our album pages and it can bind our album together. Once we get that through the last album page, we can then tie our album together. You want to tie it loosely so that it can open. You can see how that opens like the pages of a book. Our next step is to embellish our pages. We've created the album now, so now we're up to embellishing. On the back of the front cover of your Mintay paper, you will have your elements page. This is the page here. I've previously cut all of those elements out so that I can use them to decorate my pages. So with my design for the front cover, I've chosen this large floral cluster and I've cut it into two so I can put one bit at the top left-hand side of the floral cluster and one bit at the bottom right-hand side. I'm then using two of my flowers, and these flowers are included in the kit. And I'm looking at some other elements that might position nicely around the photo. I'm using some ribbon, the same ribbon that we used to tie the album together. We're going to use throughout the album as decoration. I'm also going to be using some cheesecloth and some twine, which is all included in the kit. I'm going to be using some chipboard scraps. You could also use recycled cardboard to create some height on our layers. First of all, I'm gluing the cheesecloth down, then the floral cluster, just a bit more cheesecloth down the bottom underneath the floral cluster. Then I'm going to double up the chipboard on the photo so that it sits up higher than the floral clusters. Glue on some more cheesecloth, the silver ribbon, the white twine, and then I'm gluing on the flower. And then I'm gluing on the flat back pearl. This again is in the kit. Now I'm just adding in some more elements, some sort of leaves behind that flower. I'm going to put another bow down the bottom and do basically the same as I've done at the top. I also would like to use this wooden sentiment that is also included in the kit. This will be the title for my album. So I'm just adding some cheesecloth down there and my silver ribbon. I'm going to ink my sentiment with the silver ink so that it matches the rest of the album. I'm going to glue on a little bit of rope twine and then my flower. And then my flat back pearl. And I will add my love sentiment on the right hand side of the bottom of the frame. This love sentiment works with all types of albums, be it a wedding album, be it a family album, be it a present you're going to give to somebody. The love sentiment is a very generic sentiment that can be used for any topic for your album. And that's our front cover done. We will not be decorating the back of each page of the album. I'm only going to decorate the front of each page of the album. If you wanted to add more photos onto the other side, please feel free to do so. For this page, I'm choosing some elements that I'd like to include. I've got this floral cluster. I'm going to cut that down a little bit. Put some chipboard on the back of that for some height. I've got another little floral cluster that I think might work well at the top. And I've got the easel part from the elements page that I think might work on this page. And to make a bow for the page as well. Let's glue everything down now. Let's glue down our easel. Let's glue down our leaf. We'll have our floral cluster in the middle. Let's get some cheesecloth on the page. We'll pop our cheesecloth behind our photo. Then we can add on our little floral cluster there at the top. We're going to also add a floral cluster at the bottom. Let's trim that in half. We'll add some more cheesecloth to the bottom of the page. And a little bit of chipboard on the back of our floral piece down here. Just note the shape of the floral piece matches the point of the heart. Glue that down. Our photo will go directly in the middle. Put some chipboard on the back, and then our photo. There we go, that's looking beautiful. So that's the main bits done. Now we're just going to embellish with a flower. Thinking maybe up here somewhere for the flower. We've got a ribbon. We'll make a twine bow. Let's take one of these little lockets and incorporate that into our design for this page. Just trim out the little bit inside the locket. Just positioning where we might put our flower now. To glue on our locket. A little bit more cheesecloth. We'll glue that flower on, and we'll put a flat back pearl as the center of the flower. And that is that page finished. On to our next page now. Select a photo, a horse image, some cheesecloth, some chipboard at the base of the photo, a floral cluster cut in half. We are going to add in another bow. Every page will have a bow. We're also going to add in some lace, which we haven't added into our pages just yet. But there will be lace in your kit, and it's my favorite lace. I love it so much because it's perfect for filling spaces in an album. So I'm going to cut a little bit of lace for this page. Let's glue down our horse. Let's glue down our floral cluster at the bottom. Some cheesecloth. I'm going to put our lace underneath that. Let's glue our photo down. Position our bow. Maybe a rose next to our bloom there that we're going to add in. I changed my mind and I'm looking for a leaf picture. I'm starting to run out of floral clusters. So I went to the scrap page of where we'd cut out hearts already, and I found a big leaf cluster that we can use on this page. So I often find myself running out of floral clusters because I like to use them so much. So if that happens, you can most certainly go to your scraps from your heart page cutouts and cut some little elements from those pages. Let's add some cheesecloth in. There's another little floral cluster going in. Put a bit of chipboard on the back of it. And pop it in at the top there. That's beautiful. Add a little bit of cheesecloth. Let's pull that cheesecloth out a bit. It's looking so pretty. Let's move on to our next page. I'd like to use these cowboy boots or cowgirl boots to tie in with my horse photos. Chipboard on the back of the photo, boots on the side with some cheesecloth. I'm just going to look for another leaf sort of image that I can cut out of one of the scraps so that I can add that in to my page, because I love those leaf images and those floral clusters. I think they look really pretty as a layer, as a paper layer on a project. And I'm just quickly trimming that down so that I can add that in as a layer. Put a bit of chipboard on the back, pop it in underneath the photo frame. Let's glue that photo frame down now. Some lace down the bottom here would be nice. A ribbon would be nice. A twine bow on top of the ribbon. A little bit of cheesecloth. Another floral cluster. This pretty lantern, some cheesecloth. Glue that floral cluster down, glue that lantern down, glue that cheesecloth down. Add in a little bit of lace. Bit of cheesecloth on the other side. Some flowers. That page is done. Moving on to the next page now. I wanted to use this horse image. These papers would be perfect for scrapping your horse photos. I wanted to use the cowgirl hat as well. Cutting out another little floral cluster, because they always look so good as a layer. Let's glue that floral cluster on. Let's glue that photo on. Let's add some cheesecloth, add the hat in. We can have a ribbon down the bottom. We can have a twine bow on top of that. We can add some lace dangling down. It's looking great. You're doing such a good job. Let's put our flat back pearl on here maybe. On to our next page. We're nearly finished. We've got this lovely clock. Let's use the clock on this one. Let's put our photo in. We've got a letter element there. Let's add a flower to that. Another little flower and a leaf. Some cheesecloth. A rose down the bottom there. I'm going to thread the ribbon through the heart-shaped locket. I'm going to put some lace underneath that there. Some cheesecloth and a rose at the back. Maybe I'll cut some more little floral clusters from this page. Add that into the top. Don't want to cover up the horse too much. Looks like the horse is gone. Alright, so let's have a look now. We're going really well. I just need to loosen my ribbon. I tied it too tight, and when I've added increased layers to my chipboard album, I need to loosen that up so that it sits well. I'm actually thinking about adding a little bit of lace to that bow, so I'll just untie the bow, cut a little bit of lace for it, and then just tie the bow back over the top of it. And that just gives a little bit of lace to the front cover, which is nice. So let's have a little look through. We've got our first page, second page, third page, fourth page, fifth page, and that is all of our pages completed. Just going to loosen that up again. I think it's just that little bit too tight again. You think it needs to be tighter than it actually does. You don't want it super tight. There we go. Isn't it pretty? Such a pretty album. It's quite easy to make. Let's have a look at it. Look at those gorgeous layers. It's so pretty with a silver. Now you can make this album. You can create this at home step by step by following this video tutorial. You could create it for a gift to give somebody, or you could create it for yourself to record some special memories. The beautiful Mintay Florabella papers, the lovely Mintay heart-shaped chippy album, and gorgeous accessories, some silver ribbon, some white twine, some cheesecloth, some lace, and some flowers and some pearls creates this special album. It's not a huge project, it's fairly quick and easy to create, and look at the gorgeous result that you'll have when you finish it. If you would like to create this album, head on over to my shop at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au to pick up your kit, and I will post it directly to your home address so you can follow along with the video and create this at home. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely crafty day.